Hey guys, what's up? Thank you very much for joining and happy Easter. Today is a happy Easter Monday. So thank you all who are joining now because you could have been with your families and like eating dinners as we just did. And you are here watching me. So thank you very much. But of course, thank you to those who are watching the recording as well. Today's topic, I'll be like going like this because it will be a list of documents for different visa types. I've counted like 11 of what I have here. These are like the beautiful list of documents we provide in Move to Prague. So I'll be going through them. I'll start with the blue card, and then we'll get to student visa and permanent residency. So everything, all the different visa and residence permit types, I'll cover, and I'll go always like the name of the visa. So let's say blue card, and then the list of documents. Name of the visa, list of documents. Name of the visa, list of documents. I'll be going like this. I'll do all of them. And then once I'm finished, and I'm back on Facebook. Once I'm finished, I will go through all your questions as usually. So please feel free to ask questions. And let's jump right into it. Guys, I'll be looking into the documents, into the lists, because I obviously know them all from top of my head, and I usually don't need these papers or these lists when I'm dealing with clients in real life, but I don't want to forget any piece of information or any small document, because then it would be useless video if I missed some parts. And I will be using these like cheat sheets. Okay, so let's go through it. Let's start with the documents needed for blue card application. Number one, vacancy number, then blue card application form, then sometimes a long-term visa application form, then your passport, 2 passport size photos, then proof of accommodation, your employment contract, documents proving your professional qualification, your education mainly, then a power of attorney. If you want us, for example, to represent you in front of the ministry, then you need a power of attorney. Administrative fee for the biometric card that's paid at the embassy. Background check from the country of your origin and from all the countries where you have lived longer than 6 months in the last 3 years. Health insurance, that's only needed once the blue card is approved. And the ministry can also additionally request a medical check, but it usually doesn't happen. So that was the list for a blue card. Let's go to an employee card. That will be actually very similar because blue card and employee card are very close to each other. It's the same system, it's just slightly different. And I did another video explaining the differences, but let's go through it. So list of documents needed for an employee card. Number one, vacancy number. Number two, employee card application form. Number three, long-term visa application form. Number four, passport. Number five, 2 passport size photos. Number six, proof of accommodation. Number seven, employment contract. Number eight, documents proving your education or professional qualification. Number nine, power of attorney if you want us to help you with the process. Number 10, administrative fee that's paid at the embassy. Number 11, background check from the country of your origin and all the countries where you have lived longer than 6 months in the last 3 years. And the last one is health insurance, which is only needed once the visa is approved or once the employee card is approved. Sometimes the ministry can also request a medical check, but I've seen it once in 10 years, so it's not very likely that it will happen. So that was the employee card. Thank you very much. Hi, Rico. Thank you for joining. Good day. Svagatika, thank you. Melissa, Arpan, Jay, thank you all for joining. So what do we have here now? Okay, this one is a tough one. This is, on one hand, this is one of my most popular or the types of residence permits I like the most. On the other hand, I kind of don't like them at all because they're very complicated. So that's why I like it, because it's like if you apply for a student visa like 100th time, that's not really like exciting, or a family reunification visa. It's always the same process, nothing usually too complicated. But this one, that can get very, very complicated because there are so many moving pieces you need to put in order. So on one hand, I like it because it adds diversity to my work. But on the other hand, there are so many things that can go wrong that I also don't like it much. So let's go through the list of documents. for the long-term residence permit with the business purpose of stay. So all of you who have the business visa, so all of the teachers or IT professionals or whoever else is having the freelancing visa, this is the next step afterwards. So list of documents needed for the long-term residence permit with the purpose of business. Application form, passport, 2 passport size photos, proof of income, which can be either your invoices and receipts, bank account statement, and a table of income, if you haven't done your first tax return yet, or confirmation of paid Social Security, confirmation of paid health insurance, and platební výměr, confirmation of paid income tax from the tax office. Then proof of accommodation, trade license extension, proof of having no debts in Social Security, proof of having no debts in customs, proof of having no debts in tax office, and proof of having no debts in the health insurance office. Then the health insurance card, either private or public, whatever you fall under. Then administrative fee for the biometric card, and then power of attorney if you want us to represent you in front of the ministry during the whole process, which is advisable. We also need a power of attorney for that. There are also additional documents which can be requested, but I've never seen them requested, maybe like once, one of them. But the ministry could additionally request a background check, a medical report, income tax assessment, declaration of release, obligation of secrecy of the tax office. But as mentioned, I've never seen this requested, maybe once. Okay, that was it for the business purpose. Now we'll do a family long-term residence. Let's see if I have long-term visa as well. So I'll start with the long-term visa for a family purpose of stay, and then I'll do the long-term residence permit with the family purpose of stay, so you can see the differences right after one another. So let's go through that now. And guys, of course, if you have any questions, type them in. I'll do like 5 or 6 more different visa types and lists of documents, and then I'll go to your questions. So list of documents needed for a long-term visa with a family reunification purpose of stay. Application form, passport, 2 passport size photos, proof of funds, proof of accommodation, marriage certificate for spouses or birth certificate for kids, medical insurance that's only needed once the visa is approved, administrative fee for the embassy where you apply, then consent of parents if a child is moving only with one of the parents and the other parent is staying in the home country. And then additionally, background check, which is basically always required if you're an adult, not really if you're below 15, and medical report, which might be required, but I've never seen that once in 10 years, actually. So that was it. So that was the long-term visa with the family purpose of stay. Let's now do the long-term residence permit with the family purpose of stay. So the list of documents needed for a long-term residence permit with the family reunification purpose of stay. Application form, passport, 2 passport size photos, proof of accommodation, marriage certificate for spouses or birth certificate for kids, proof of income, not proof of funds, but proof of monthly income, plus a letter of support, Czech medical insurance, which needs to be submitted when you're submitting the application, administrative fee for the biometric card, consent of parents if only one of the parents is moving with the child, power of attorney if you want us at Move to Prague to help you in the process and represent you in front of the ministry, background check, which is needed if you're an adult, basically always. If you're a child below 15, then it's not needed. And medical report, which is not really usually requested. I've seen it once in 10 years. Okay, that was this. I see that we have one question from Tausif25 on YouTube. So thank you very much for Tausif for the question. I'll answer it when I finish these lists. I believe I have like 5 more or 6, whatever it is. We'll get into permanent residency and to others. So let's continue so we don't spend here the whole Easter day. So now, fun part. I will be now talking about students. But basically, students should always apply for the long-term residence permit with the student purpose of stay. But sometimes you apply for a visa instead of the residence permit for a couple of reasons. Generally, all students of accredited programs, the real students, then they should always apply for the long-term residence permit. So I will only go through the long-term residence permit list, but basically the list is the same for the long-term visa as well. Okay, so the list of documents needed for a long-term residence permit with the purpose of stay of studies for students. So application form, passport, 2 passport size photos, proof of accommodation, proof of funds or monthly income, admission letter for the next school year, power of attorney if you want us to represent you in front of the ministry, administrative fee for the Ministry of the Interior or for the embassy, wherever you're applying for the residence permit, health insurance, consent of parents if you're moving here as a student and you're below 15, criminal check from the country of your origin and from all the countries where you have lived longer than 6 months in the last 3 years, if this is your first application through an embassy, and medical exam. I've never seen it requested from a student, so you should be fine. Okay. Let's go. Eusung Kang, thank you very much for joining. I have not heard from you for a very long time. So it's nice to see you again here. Now, guys, permanent residence permit non-EU citizens. Grace Vidal, thank you for joining. So, list of documents needed for the permanent residence permit for non-EU citizens. Application form, 1 passport size photo, passport, proof of income. Then it depends. If you're self-employed, that would be your like social security reports, healthcare reports, and your tax return or like documents from these authorities. If you're employed, that would be your employment contract plus, let's say, the last 3 or 6 salary slips. Then proof of accommodation, Czech language exam, power of attorney if you want us to represent you in front of the ministry, administrative fee for the biometric card for the Ministry of the Interior, and background check. That's not really requested because usually you apply for the permanent residency after 5 years of living here, so there is no need for a criminal check from the country of your origin. It was the permanent residence permit non-EU citizens. Okay, now partnership visa. What else do we have? Then the certificate, registration certificate for EU citizens, permanent residence permit for EU citizens and their family members, and long-term visa business purpose, and that's it, and trade license. Okay, so we're getting there. Let's maybe, I'll answer the question of Tausif. So let me see, and then we'll go through the rest of the list. So Tausif 25. Which dual currency card is required in case of student visa, debit card or credit card? And in that case, is it mandatory to do dollar endorsement on it? In case of student visa, is it necessary to deposit the money of bank statement in the savings account? For example, I put 8,000 euros in the bank savings account. Okay, so I'll answer this question of Tausif 25 from YouTube, and then I will go through the rest of the list. So, for the student visa, or basically any type of long-term visa, you need to show that you have enough money in your bank account. Enough means different for different applications, and I did another video like 2 weeks ago because these minimums were increased. So if you go to my YouTube channel, that's actually the first video which is there on the loop, like welcoming you to my YouTube channel. Then I talked there about the increase in the required funds for each of the visa applications. But generally, you need to show that you have enough money in your bank account. Obviously, if you have a Czech bank account and you can have it in Czech crowns, that's the best because there is no doubt how much you actually have. If you don't have a Czech bank account, which is the case for most of the people, because if you're applying for a visa, you're probably not in the Czech Republic yet. So then you can have the money in other currencies. You can have it in US dollars, you can have it in euros, you can have it in Indian rupees, you can have it in whatever currency you want. But you just need to make sure that you have more than required because the exchange rate can change. You know, if you had the money in rubles, for example, like 2 months ago, And now the exchange rate is like very, very, very different. So now if you had enough like 2 months ago, you might not have enough now. So you need to be careful about this and make sure that you have like way more than required. So whenever the ministry is doing the conversion, you will still have enough there. Okay. So that's it. If it must be a savings account or a credit card, debit card, doesn't matter really. You just need to be owner of the money, or the money must be yours. So if it's like a credit card, which the bank can anytime take from you because it's not your money, it's the bank's money, then I would definitely not recommend using a credit card. But if you have a debit card, which is linked to the account from which you show the statement, that's completely fine. Last question from Tausif. Then 3 months later, I took the statement. Is it possible to keep 1 year into 3 months like this? What kind of money is important to be transacted every month? Well, the main point here is that you should have the whole amount there during the whole approval process, and definitely not a statement like from 3 months ago. Because if you had you got the statement 3 months ago, you're applying for the visa now. It will take another month before it reaches the Czech Republic and someone starts like checking your application. So that will be 4 months old proof of funds, and the ministry will not accept that. They will request something fresh anyway. So if you don't have the money there anymore, it could be a big trouble for you. So I definitely don't recommend using like 3 months old bank statement. And second, I definitely not recommend using the money like before you get the approval. And I did actually another video just like last week about this topic. So please, Tausif, subscribe to my channel and scroll down, and it will be one of the last videos there where I talked about using the money from your bank account. Okay, I see that Gabriel Gabanatlong is asking a question, and Tanchi Hao as well. Nice to see you. But let's now go through the rest of the lists, and then I will get to the rest of the questions. Okay. So temporary residence permit for family members of EU citizens. That's so-called partnership visa. So the list of documents needed for a temporary residence permit for family members of EU citizens, including the partnership visa: application form, passport, 2 passport size photos, proof of accommodation, documents on the purpose of your stay, which in case of married couples, the close family members or kids, that's just your marriage certificate or birth certificate. In case of partners, just like living together and not being married, then that would be all the photos, all the statements of you and your family, or the flight tickets, hotel bookings, payment bills, all this. So the purpose of your stay is to live with your beloved one, with your family, with an EU citizen. So you need to prove that there is a relationship between you. Then proof of monthly income that only applies to the distant family members, to the partnership visa, not to the close ones, to the married couples. No. Then check health insurance, power of attorney. If you want us to represent you in front of the ministry, then we need to have a power of attorney, and then administrative fee for the Ministry of the Interior. Good. Registration certificate, that's now for EU citizens. It used to be temporary residence certificate. They changed it. It's basically exactly the same thing. They just changed the name for whatever reason. So documents needed for the registration certificate for EU citizens: application form, passport or EU national ID, 1 passport size photo, proof of accommodation, documents on the purpose of your stay. So if you're moving here to work, then it would be your employment contract. If you're moving here to run business, that would be your trade license or limited liability company. If you move here as a student, that would be confirmation of studies and all this. Then health insurance, power of attorney if you want us to represent you in front of the ministry and take care of most of the things on your behalf, and administrative fee for the Ministry of the Interior. That's it. That's fast. EU citizens, that's always fast. And okay, so the last 2 + 1 bonus one, which is not a visa, but I'll do it anyway. So first will be permanent residence permit for EU citizens and their family members, and long-term visa with the business purpose of stay. And then I'll do trade license, and then I'll go back to your questions. So documents needed for the permanent residence permit of an EU citizen or their family members. Application form, passport or national ID, one passport size photo, proof of income, that's only meant for family members and distant family members of EU citizens. Then proof of accommodation. Czech language exam is not needed. I don't know why it's here. Power of attorney, if you want us to represent you in front of the ministry. Administrative fee for the biometric card. And sometimes the ministry can also request a background check, but they usually don't. But I don't know why the Czech language exam is there, because you don't need a Czech language exam if you are a family member of an EU citizen. Even if you're a distant family member, you don't need that. So sorry for that. We need to change this in the list, and I'll just cross it out right now so we don't use that. Good. You see this is live. So now the last visa type, and then just the trade license list. So now the business visa. So the list of documents needed for a business visa, for a long-term visa with the purpose of stay business, self-employment, freelancing. Application form, passport, two passport size photos, proof of accommodation, proof of funds, documents on the purpose of your stay, which is usually the trade license and either a business plan or some letters of interest from some companies or schools you will be teaching for, depending on the business plan. Then health insurance, business visa, background check from the country of your origin and all the countries where you have lived longer than 6 months in the last 3 years. And sometimes the ministry can also request a medical report, but that would be only requested during the process if you were coming from some country where some specific sickness was spread. But I've seen it requested once in 10 years, so it's not really likely. So that was the business visa, and the last list of documents will be the trade license. Peekaboo. 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 Yeah, that was my talent show. And let's do now the trade license list, and then I'll go back to Tanchi House questions and Gabriel Gabanatlong. Sorry for the pronunciation. That's the best I can do. Sorry for that. So, list of documents needed for a trade license. So, passport or national ID and a valid visa or residence permit if you're a non-EU citizen. Proof of business address, then list of chosen trades, criminal check, which is only needed if you're not an EU citizen, 1,000 crowns administrative fee, and power of attorney if you want us to deal with the whole process on your behalf, so you don't need to go anywhere, just to our office, and then we'll take care of everything on your behalf, like the trade license, social security registration, healthcare registration, tax office registration. We can do it all, but we need to have a power of attorney from you for that. Ta-da! That was it, guys. That was the list of, these were the lists of documents needed for all the different visa types, which were +1 is the trade license. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 actually. I've done 11 different lists of documents with you. So hopefully this was useful. And I'll for sure cut it into short videos, and I'll share them on Instagram and or on my TikTok. And I'll try Facebook as well, because on Facebook there are also the reels now, or I don't know how they call it, the shorts or reels or whatever, but that's on Facebook as well. So I'll try it as well, because I want to see how it works, because TikTok has been working very well for me. Instagram, not really. I don't really like the platform. I don't know how to use it, so it's not really going well. But Facebook has always been good. Many people watch me, watch my live streams, and I have many people in the expats in CZE help and support group. So I thank you for that as well. So Facebook is doing well for me, very well actually. So I want to try this on Facebook as well. Maybe I will sometimes try the audio rooms as well, which was new like a couple months ago. Now it's like old, but I don't know if someone or if anyone uses that, or if it's just a dead end. Yeah, but I'll try and we'll see. Okay, so now let's go to your question. So sorry, Tanchihao, I'll get back to you right away, but I'll start with Gabriel because Gabriel wrote earlier. Let's see. So can one of the spouse be a co-sponsor, proof of income for the main applicant of family reunification permit? Well, usually it's the other way around because you already have someone who's in the Czech Republic and who's doing something here. Usually people bring their families if they're working here, either as self-employed and run business, or if they're employed. So usually the main applicant is the one making money. But if you are a student, for example, and bring your wife, and your wife finds a job and you keep studying, you don't have a job, you just study, and your wife or husband finds a job and they start working, then it's completely fine. Because from the moment when you're approved, or even before that, if you're married or if you have kids which are yours, then you are considered as a family. So actually all of the family members can combine their income. So if, let's say, the required minimum is 20,000 crowns a month, it's more for 3 people, even for 2 would be more, but let's say that's 20,000 crowns. If one of the family members earns, let's say, 40, then it's okay to just use income of the one person, because you don't even need the other ones, even if they work, because you need 20, one of you is earning 40, that's fine. But if you, for example, need 20 and you both work part-time and earn like 10,000 crowns and 15,000 crowns, then you need to combine the income to be above the limit. So in that case, it would be definitely required or recommended to combine the income. So, and you can play with this this way. So if the main applicant, for example, is not working, but the spouse is working, and she or he has high enough income, you can use their income as well. So yeah, the income is counted for the whole family. So as long as the whole family in total makes enough, that's completely fine. So now, Tanchihao, are the documents required for the renewal of the family reunification visa the same as for the application? And is there a specific funds requirement too? Tanchihao, did you do the partnership visa, or did you do the standard family reunification? Because for the standard family reunification, if you come here, usually you come here under the long-term visa for the family reunification, which is a sticker in your passport. And if you want to stay longer, you cannot just apply for extension of the visa. It's because the maximum validity of the visa is 1 year. So if you got the first visa for 1 year, you cannot just extend it. You need to switch to a long-term residence permit. And then if you want to extend the residence permit, then the documents for the extension of the residence permit are the same as for the first long-term residence permit application. They're different than for the visa application, but they're the same as for the first application for the long-term residence permit. And yeah, Tan, I thought so. I made an edit. My apologies. I mean the close family partnership. Yeah, so still mixing a couple of things, because the close family members would already be not the partnership, but like close are only married couples. But I know you have an EU partner, and you got the temporary residence permit, the blue booklet. So first thing, you have to renew it. You have to exchange it for the biometric card. Guys, if some of you is watching and you still have the blue booklets for the partnership visa, for the family reunification, the temporary residence permit for family members of EU citizens, you need to replace it for biometric cards until August, because otherwise you will lose, or you might lose, the status of close family member. So if you don't have the card yet, definitely get it as soon as you can, because otherwise you might lose the rights as a family member of an EU citizen. So anyway, then you basically have two options. If you're getting to the end of the validity, you can either extend it just the same way as you did the first time. You will need exactly the same documents, and now actually a bit more if you're a distant family member. If you're not married, then you'll need a bit more documents, because that was changed in August last year. So you will need to get proof of income and you might need to buy the health insurance for a longer period of time in advance. So there have been some changes. Check my previous videos, but generally regarding the relationship, you will need to prove exactly the same thing. So again, write a statement, submit new photos for ideally for the 5 years you've been together, then new statements of your friends or coworkers or family members, then all your bills and lease agreements and joint bank account, everything is the same. Or another option would be applying for the permanent residence permit, which will require the same documents, and you might be also invited for an interview. But once you get the permanent residence, you are good forever. So it makes no sense to just like apply for extension of the temporary residence permit, because you will need exactly the same documents as you would need for the permanent. So it's better to go for the permanent. Of course, if you apply late, then it's good to first extend it and then apply for permanent. But definitely the permanent residency is preferable because it's a stronger residence status, and you basically get it forever. It's permanent, so you get it for permanent period of time. So I would prefer going for the permanent instead of extending the temporary. Oh, guys, it's been 31 minutes. I thought that, it will be lists of documents, so it will be like bam, 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 and it will be fast, but it wasn't. So sorry for that, and stay. Thank you for staying with me, and thank you for joining and watching and everything. So guys, if you have some more questions, please feel free to ask now. Now is the good time, because otherwise I'll finish the live stream and I'll go make myself a tea or something. And of course, I'll be awkwardly dancing here for you for a bit. So ask questions. Okay. Difference due to health insurance. Okay. Let me see. Tanchi, how previously there was a slight difference due to health insurance, but currently is there any news on whether other providers besides PVZP will be allowed back on the market moving forward if existing contracts can be extended? Well, as of now, like we've been in touch with the health insurance companies regularly and kind of closely, because I personally don't like PVZP, and I don't like that the government gives all the business to one company, just like based on whatever stupid bullshit facts or like facts. I don't think that's how it should be done, and PVZP is also kind of whatever. I probably should not talk about them badly, but also VZP, the public health insurance provider, really sucks, and PVZP is like no good. But anyway, so we've been following everything closely, or this is my personal opinion. Okay, that's not like company's opinion or anything. There is no other chance. There is no other provider at this moment. So of course, PVZP is the best you can get, and it's the only option. But we've been all waiting for the other companies to come back and start selling the health insurance again. They're actually the government, because the health insurance companies took this to the European courts. So it's been an ongoing case, and we'll see if there will be something coming out of that. But another thing is that also politicians in the Czech Republic want to cancel this again. So they want to cancel the monopoly, and there are discussions about that in the parliament, and they're trying to do that. But nothing is happening as of now, because we were told by some of the health insurance companies that hopefully we should get some changes in the first quarter of 2022, which is now behind us, and nothing really changed. So hopefully this will change soon, but as of now, you still only have the PVZP option, and you cannot choose anyone else. But unless you need to submit it for the whole application, like a new application where you need to buy it for full 3 years if you're a distant family member, then just buy it for maybe 4 months. And then we'll see. You can always extend it if needed, if there is still only one company. But if there are more, if the competition is back, then you just paid it only for 4 months, and then you can choose, and you will still save a lot of money. So yeah, maybe if you need to extend it, just extend for a couple months, and we'll see. Hopefully something will change in a couple months as well. Whew. Okay, any more questions? Lee N. Garcia, thank you very much for joining. If you're still watching, let me see. I read that I should be able to share screen here, which I'm not sure. Žádosti hostu, I don't know what this is. Add someone. Okay. There should be some magic filters now, but there are not. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so thank you so much for the clarification. Because PR mandatory payment to VZP, but temporary residence permit previously allowed the usage of private providers. Well, actually, there is a difference. You know, for the if you're applying for the temporary residence permit for the partnership visa, you always need to have private health insurance. Of course, if you find a job, if you, for example, now found a job in the Czech Republic, then you get the public healthcare and you can use it for the extension or everything. So there is no problem with that. But generally, for the first application, you need to buy the private. But then, if you're applying for the permanent residency and you get it approved, you become part of the public healthcare system. So you have to pay to the public healthcare system. But there is not only VZP. They try to look like that. They try to create this like feeling that they're the only one you can go to. But no, for the public health insurance, you have a choice. You know, and we actually recommend OZP because OZP is very nice. They have a very nice customer service. Also, if we need some documents from them for example, the business residence permit or extension or whatever, then they're always easy to work with. They give us a temporary. They cannot give us, for example, the new card if you don't have a new residence permit approved, but they gave us a temporary confirmation for 1 year, which is good for the ministry. But for example, VZP, they only do it for 3 months because they say, hey, we can only give you this confirmation for 3 months because you don't have a residence permit. But then the ministry is saying, yeah, we cannot give you the residence permit because you only have health insurance for 3 months and not for 2 years. And we explain them, but we cannot give you the VZP for 2 years because they only give 3 months. And they we always write letters like this to each other, and it's stupid. So we don't recommend VZP for sure. But actually, with the public health insurance, you can choose which company you want. And if you can choose, I definitely recommend OZP. I am with them personally myself, and I like them way more than I used to like VZP, which I hated actually. So yeah, so don't be afraid of that. Of course, you will need to contribute to the public healthcare system, but it doesn't have to be VZP. It can be OZP, or there are some more which might be anyway better than VZP, but we always recommend OZP because we have just only great experience with them. Gabriel, thank you very much, Jan. My pleasure, Gabriel. Thank you for joining. So guys, do you have some more questions? Because I just started some time now, Maska, like a magic mask here, and it was supposed to change my face every 5 seconds, but I don't think that was happening. So let's see. Oh boy, what is this? That's so stupid. That's so stupid. That's so stupid. That's so beautiful now. Yeah, I'm just playing now with some filters, guys, here. So of course, if you have some more questions, let's see. Tanchi Hao, thank you so much from Singapore. Absolutely for staying up to 2 a.m. for your valuable info. I'm happy to hear that. Let me just get rid of this stupid thing, whatever it is. Let me get back to my normal face. Okay. Actually, we have a client from Singapore right now. He's in Prague, so he's on the Czech time. But I've heard a lot about Singapore, so I'm sending my highs to Singapore. And thank you for staying up, and thank you for joining the live stream, and thank you for being our client, and thank you for following us and following our work and my work. So thank you very much as well. And guys, happy Easter. Licor Airbuff, if you have any questions, Licor, please ask now. in the next 10 seconds, because otherwise I'll be finishing the live stream. I've been live for 40 minutes, which is way too long and must be way too boring for you as well. So let's say 5 more seconds. If someone has some more questions, type at least something so I know that I should wait. If you don't have any questions, I'll be finishing the live stream right now, and wish you a wonderful Easter evening. Enjoy. Hopefully all the girls in the Czech Republic survived. Guys, if you don't know what is a Czech tradition for Easter, then look it up, because it's a very, very strange. Cielo Grace Manojo, thank you very much for joining, and thank you for the hearts. Hopefully you survived as well the whipping today. Is it possible to get my mother for family reunification? She's 60 years old. Like, getting your parents here is always difficult. Honestly, we've had, I checked today in the CRM system we use, and we have like 11.5, almost 12,000 people, 12,000 clients in our system. But I don't think we've done too many like family reunifications for parents, because it's generally very difficult. Parents are adults, so they should apply for a different type of visa, employee card or a business visa or something else, but not really family reunification. So generally the rules for bringing your family members, like your parents here, are difficult. But of course, if they, like, the main thing is that they need to be solitary, which means that you can only have one parent left if you want to bring them here. Then there is the age limit, which I believe is 63 years old. So if your mom was solitary, so you don't have a dad, but you only have mom, and she's above 63, that's fine. She can apply for the family reunification. But if she's below that, and especially if she's not solitary, then it will be very, very difficult. You would basically need to prove that she is so sick or in such a condition, like financially, health wise, that she cannot take care of herself and that you need to take care of her yourself. But that's not really, that would need to be like a sudden change now, because if you've been living here for 5 years, she's been living there, that's obviously she's not really dependent on you. But if you are moving here right now and she's been living with you in one household, and you've been feeding her and everything, and you're moving together, that could work. Or if something changed, if like she was good, and now she got sick and she needs like everyday care, and you cannot be there, and no one else is there, then okay, that might work as well. But besides that, it's very difficult to bring your parents. We are permanent residents. Yes, she's widowed, and we want to take our son. Yeah, like taking your son, that's completely fine. There's no problem with that. With family reunification, that's okay. For your mom, if she's widowed, first of all, I'm sorry for that, but that gives her the chance to apply for the family reunification type of visa, but you will still need to prove that she's kind of dependent on you. Cielo, thank you. Thank you. And Subhash Methodius, hi sir, how are you? I'm good. How are you, Subhash? If you have any questions, I know that you asked some questions the last time. If you have any questions, please ask right now. Otherwise, I will be finishing the live stream, because it's been almost 45 minutes, and that's way too long. I usually try to make it like 15. I aim for 10 minutes. But I usually end up doing 25, but now it's been like 45. So it's been a long live stream. Yes, sir. Okay, Subhash has a question. So please go ahead. I'll meanwhile like do my little dance. Thank you, Anne. Yes, we will try. What kind of visa will apply first from Phil's? Okay, so let us know if you need any help. If Phil's, you mean Philippines, then we've had so many Filipino clients recently, so we'll be happy to help you there. And Cielo, thank you. I learned a lot. I'm happy to hear that. And if you join my YouTube, then you will learn way more, because I have 120 videos now. This will be 119, I believe. So plenty of videos with plenty of useful info and plenty of content So Subhash, I put work permit for Czech Republic long-term visa. Okay. I'm waiting for the question now. I put work permit for Czech Republic long-term visa. So Subhash will be writing hopefully the rest of the questions soon. So guys, tell me meanwhile something about you. Like, where are you watching from? So I know that Tanchi Hawa is watching from Singapore. Where the rest of you is based, guys? Are you all in the Czech Republic? Cielo, I believe you're in the Czech Republic as well. If you want to bring your son and mom, Lekor, sorry, Lekor. Cielo, are you in the Czech Republic? And the rest of you guys, are you based here or somewhere else? Okay, Subhash, I confused how much bank balance I need to show. If you're applying for a work permit, meaning for the employee card or for a blue card, you don't need to show any money because your employment contract will be the proof of your income. As long as you, or as soon as you start working, then you will be getting a salary, and the salary needs to meet some requirements. So you cannot, for example, get a lower salary than is the minimum required salary. And then the minimum required salary is calculated the way that it covers all the minimum, the livable minimum, and all this. So if you're applying for an employee card or for a blue card, you don't need to worry about minimum balance at all. Okay, guys, thank you very much for joining. Happy Easter for those of you who celebrate. I'm in the Czech Republic. Cielo, that's great. That's great. Air Ipshit joining. Thank you. Hi, Air. I'm actually just finishing. I have one question. Okay. Okay, go ahead. I wanted to finish the live stream like 7 times already. But go ahead, Air Ipshit. And Subhash, how long takes I'll get my visa after I get appointment? Well, officially, if you're applying for an employee card or a blue card, the Ministry of the Interior has 60 to 90 days to make the decision. But you need to count with some delay after you submit the application, because usually it takes like a month before even someone starts checking your application, and then they start counting the 60 to 90 days. So it can take anything between 2 months and 6 months, maybe. That's the general timeline. Officially, 60 to 90 days after you submitted the application. In real life, anything between 2 weeks and 6 months, probably. Okay, Air. My bridge visa is about to end. I didn't get any decision yet. Next Sunday is the deadline. That's not a question. That's just a statement. No, anyway, if your bridge visa is expiring, you can get a new one. Just go to the Ministry of the Interior, tell them that you need to leave, and they will give you a new bridging visa. There is no problem with that at all. It's always best to book an appointment in advance if you can do that. But if you cannot, you can just always show up at the branch of the ministry and get the visa that way. So definitely, if your bridging visa is running out and you need to get a new one, you can. So just go to the Ministry of the Interior and request one. And especially if you already have flight tickets because you need to leave somewhere, they need to give it to you. They have to give it to you. So that should be a pretty easy task. So Subhash, sorry, sir, for late. Thank you, sir. Happy Easter to you and your family. Thank you very much, Subhash. I'm not sure if you celebrate Easter. I don't think so. But if you do, happy Easter. If you don't, then at least have a nice day. And thank you very much for joining. And thank you very much for the questions. Air Ipshe, do I have to get insurance again? No, like, depends. The bridging visa is not like a visa you would be applying for. You know, you applied for your extension, or you applied for your long-term residence permit, or you applied for something. And the bridge visa is there just to cover the period between when your current visa expired and when you get a new one, or the residence permit. So the bridge visa, you don't need to show anything for the bridge visa. You just go there, and if your application is still in process, they have to give you the bridging visa. So no the problem. Lekor, should I apply a long-term visa first or permanent residence for my mom? We have a živnostenský list. Well, you cannot apply for a permanent residency for her directly. You can only do it for your child. Child's. That's a new word. Children can apply for a permanent residency directly through an embassy if their parent has a permanent residency, but parents cannot do that. So your mom will anyway need to start either with a long-term visa or with a long-term residence permit. She cannot apply for the permanent residency right away, but I would definitely recommend going for the long-term residence permit because it might take longer to get approved, officially up to 270 days, but it's difficult to get it denied because the visa, the ministry can deny the visa right away easily. They don't have to ask you about anything. They just deny it and that's it, because there is no legal right to get a visa. But for the residence permit, there is a legal right to get the residence permit if you fulfill all the conditions. So if she applies for the residence permit, it's more likely that it will be approved, or it's more difficult to get it denied actually. So definitely for the residence permit. Also, there are some other advantages. So if you have the permanent residency, your mom could apply for a long-term residence permit, and I would recommend doing that. I have house, living with family and daughter. My insurance getting expiring 18 May. So anyway, if your health insurance is expiring soon, the ministry, whatever application you submitted, then you need to have a valid insurance for that anyway. So the ministry will request the new insurance soon anyway. So definitely get it. You will need it for the main application, but you don't really need to show it for the bridge visa. And anyway, you still have a valid health insurance right now. So I would not be worried about it at this point, but definitely you will need to get a health insurance anyway. Lekor, happy Easter, Jan. Thank you for live. Huge help for us. Happy to help. Thank you guys for joining. Thank you for using services of Move to Prague. Thank you for all your questions. I'm sorry if I sometimes don't reply on Facebook, but it's impossible. I receive like 100 messages every month, every week, and it's just not in my capability to reply all. So it's always best if you go to movetoprague.com and fill in one of the forms, and either me or one of my colleagues will get in touch with you. And it's definitely a safer way than to contacting me through Facebook. Eripshit, all right, I get it, but I have an appointment on 20th for a job. Everyone. I don't think I'm getting this, but Eripshit, if we've been in touch previously on the messenger, so please, if you want some more details, get in touch, record me a message, and I'll listen to it and I will reply in more details, because now my throat is really tired, so I cannot talk anymore, and I will be finishing the stream right now. So thank you very much again, Lekor, Eric Ipshit, Miram Joy, Cielo, Savanach. Thank you all guys for joining. Happy Easter, and see you again on Thursday. Bye-bye. I'm sorry for a late entry. No worries. Just like text me and I'll be happy to reply. So guys, thank you from, okay. So bye-bye guys on Facebook. And bye-bye guys here on YouTube as well. So Subhash, thank you very much. Gabriel, thank you very much. Tausif, thank you very much for your questions, and see you on Thursday. Bye-bye.